Hey guys, what is up? My name is PandaMaster, and welcome to my spoiler-free review of Raya and the Last Dragon. What's up, guys? I am so sorry I've been gone for the last week. I've taken some time off. I did a couple streams this week, right? So I haven't been completely absent, but you know, I just needed some me time. It's been a stressful couple weeks, but you know, dealing with a lot. But I saw Raya and the Last Dragon the day it came out. Like, literally, like, if I had more time, I would have had this up right after the WandaVision review, but I just didn't have time, and then just things got very chaotic. Like, I haven't had much free time, honestly, in this past week, but I wanted to get this up because it has been a week since I've uploaded anything on here, you know, non-stream related. And so I wanted to talk about Raya and the Last Dragon, especially because this is the best film of the year so far. I'm going to say that. And I consider One Night in Miami and Minari to both be 2021 films. Like, they became available to me in 2021, so I consider them both to be 2021 movies. And so I am saying it's better than Minari, it's better than One Night in Miami. Those are still amazing films, and I heavily recommend you watch them. But Raya and the Last Dragon made me cry. I watched it the first time, and I cried at the end. And I would specify what kind of tears, but I want to keep it spoiler free, and so I'm gonna avoid that. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. That's what tells you something. And then the second time I watched it, because I showed it to all my friends, well, not all my friends, but some of my friends, and I might be watching it again this weekend. Hopefully, we'll see. I have to, because I don't think my buddy Matt has seen it yet, and I'm gonna be seeing him this weekend, so I think I'm gonna make him watch it. But I was very close the second time, and yeah, it is an amazing film. So first off, if you don't know what Raya and the Last Dragon is, one, how dare you, and two, it is the new Walt Disney Animation Studios film. It just came out last Friday in theaters and on Disney Plus via Premier Access. So this is the second time Disney Plus has done this, where you pay $30 and essentially rent it for 90 days. Because after that 90-day period, it will be available to stream for free with Disney Plus, and so you're essentially renting the movie for 30 days, or for 90 days, which for $30 is a good value. The problem is, and I want to get into what makes this film special, so I don't want to talk too much about this. Premier Access is a stupid, cheap ploy from Disney, because it's like, when you think about it, you know, renting a film for 90 days, $30 is a good value. But who the hell wants to rent a movie for 90 days? Like, even if you really, really, really love the film, right? Like, I really love this film. I want to own it, right? But that's the thing. I would watch it maybe twice, right? And then after that, I would just buy it, right? Meanwhile, like, this movie is most likely going to cost $30, and that's buying it in like 4K, right, which would be what I would do. So it's most likely, you know, the price for me to buy it is the exact same price as this. Again, I don't know for sure, but it's most likely going to be the exact same price to rent it for 90 days. And I don't want to rent it for 90 days. I want to own it, right? And so there should be an option to do, you know, spend I don't know, $15 and then get it for a month or something like that. But there should be lower tier options, right? But there aren't, because Disney knows what they're doing. And so do I agree with the Premier Access way of doing it? No. But I think this is a movie you should watch as soon as possible, especially if you are into the Disney Animation Studios, right? So like Moana, Frozen, why are those the only two I can ever think of? You know, all the old stuff like Cinderella and, you know, all the Disney princesses, Wreck-It Ralph, those sort of things. I mean, they usually come out with bangers, right? They have had very few misfires in their history, and so this is yet another great one, and I think should be watched because, for one thing, it accentuates Asian culture, right? Specifically Southeast Asia, and so the primary sort of influence is Southern Vietnamese, right? So sorry, but that you finally have representation there. Kelly Marie Tran, whom you might know from The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, plays Raya, who is, the main character. So she absolutely kills it. I am so happy for her after all of the racist BS she had to deal with on Star Wars. I'm really excited that she gets this chance to fully shine, right? Because her character in Star Wars was heavily underrated and underused and underutilized and all of that. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to see her, be able to play a role that she is worthy of, right? I'm very excited about that. Awkwafina plays Sisu, who is the last dragon, a goofy young water dragon, and yeah, there's plenty of other talent too. I mean, it's a heavily dominated Asian American cast. I want to say Asian American, but they might just be Asian in general. I'm just going off of something I read. That's why I said that. I think they said Asian American, but I could be wrong. Either way, very, very Asian cast, which is good because you have this, this is so pertinent to Asian culture. You should have an Asian cast. So this should not be whitewashed, right? While it's not as often seen in Hollywood, there's still whitewashing going on in Hollywood with I'd say the most recent big thing. I mean, it's all over the place. We see smaller cases of it everywhere, but I think the last big thing I heard about it was Hellboy. The reboot was originally going to be whitewashed, but then they recasted because Ed Skrein said, no, I don't want to do that anymore after people pointed it out. And then before that, Ghost in the Shell, which is kind of a gray area because technically Scarlett, it was whitewashing. It was. They used Scarlett Johansson because she was a big name. But technically, if you look into the lore, it would make sense. If you've seen Ghost in the Shell and you know that, which isn't an amazing movie, but I thought it was entertaining, so I personally enjoyed it. But canonically speaking, it makes sense that she could be white, but they could have easily just went with a Japanese person as well, but they didn't. So but anyway, there's still plenty of whitewashing going around in Hollywood, and to see a predominantly Asian cast and just being so Asian oriented without being a token movie, which I think is a problem that a lot of these films will go into. As much as I love Mulan, the old one, not the new one, it is kind of a token film in a sense, where it's very much rooted in. It's been a while since I've seen it, so excuse me if I get this wrong. But is it Chinese, right? Or if you're Chinese or Japanese, I think it's Chinese. I'm actually looking it up now because I don't want to get that wrong. It is Chinese, yeah. And so, but it's it portrays a lot of Chinese stereotypes, and I'm curious about who we've got working on it. So the people who directed it was a dude from Tennessee and a dude from California, so that makes perfect sense. And so you have white people making an Asian story. And even if you look at the screenplay, you have some influence, mostly old white dudes, but you have a couple people that I'm sure provided some input, right? But that's not how things should be. And you also had you had a fairly diverse cast, right? But we've come a long way, is essentially what I'm trying to say here. And I do think Mulan is a great film, but I think there are some cultural problems with it that Raya and the Last Dragon just doesn't have. It's not something that's oh, this is Asian movie, right? Because I don't think it doesn't need to be that, right? This is a movie that Asian Americans, or just anybody of Asian ethnicity, can watch and feel represented without feeling stereotyped, right? I can't think of any Asian stereotypes in this film. I mean, they eat spicy foods, commonly, but I wouldn't consider that to be a stereotype, more so than that's just, Asian cuisine, right? And so I think it's handled very well, mostly because you have people, you have a very diverse crew, right? It was written by a Vietnamese American playwright named, I shouldn't have said that, Quy Nguyen. I don't know how to pronounce their name, I'm so sorry. and then a Malaysian-born American film and television producer, Adele Lim. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation. In America, we aren't taught jack shit about other cultures, and so apologies for that. But you have a much more diverse crew here. Instead of just hiring a bunch of Asian people to act in it, which of course this film does, and they are great. The crew is also predominantly of Asian descent, and not even that. They also have, you have an Israeli animation producer, Asnat Shur, and you also have Peter Del Vecchio, who is American, but believe he is of, I don't want to say Spanish descent, but don't quote me on that. Also, he worked on Treasure Planet, so just saying, underrated film. But you have a Mexican-American director partnered with Donald Hall, who is from Iowa, but, I'm sure he's fine. But they did a great job with this film, right? They have a diverse cast and crew, which I think is important. People don't like to look behind the scenes, and so when you see a diverse cast, but then it's just a crew of old white dudes, it probably isn't that's where you need to kind of look deeper into the film here. And you can look deep into this film and find all sorts of really great stuff. I think the thing that really makes this film shine is that, one, it is technically a post-apocalyptic movie, right? So this is about a world where there are these evil spirits called the Droon that turn people to stone, and there are a few people left in the world. And then you have Raya, who awakens Sisu, the last dragon, to help stop this. And, but it's all very heartbreaking, because you meet all these characters who have lost everything. They've lost their entire families, Raya included. And it's just very, very heartbreaking to watch. And just seeing, and again, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. I did have some light spoilers in there, and I apologize for that. But it has a lot of depth in what it's trying to accomplish in themes and stuff, because a lot of the themes is about trust and family, and our relationships with other people, and trying to build / regain trust with people that we might not see eye to eye with, which in 2021 is something I feel like a lot of people are, I don't think there's many people that can say they don't need some advice on that right now. And so, yeah, it's an amazing film. Like I said, stellar cast, stellar crew. I really enjoy it. I'm sad that it came out now, because I think it would reach a much broader audience if not for the circumstances going on right now with the pandemic. It is in theaters, but I do not recommend watching it that way, because be safe, don't go outside. If you are one of those people in Texas and Missouri, and I think there's more places now, stop. Just wear your mask, stay inside, don't listen to your stupid legislatures. They're dumb. We are not out of the woods yet, and I'm tired of people acting like we are. But yeah, so pay the $30, watch it in Premiere Access, again, especially if you enjoy Walt Disney Animation Studios in general. You will not be disappointed by this. It has a lot of the similar feel that those films have, while doing its own, culturally significant things, right? I think this is a really, really great film for the Asian American community, and just, like I said, Asian culture in general being put into the spotlight without feeling like it's the Asian movie, right? It's not a token film, and it's not, it's something that, can represent people without ostracizing them, I guess is what I should say. Because there are times when, they are simply, the existence is there just to be like, okay, this is to satisfy you, now let's move on. This feels like a genuine film that has its own place and is very well done. And so, please go watch it. I am obsessed with this film. Heavily recommend it to everybody. I think you need to watch it. I will forever champion this film. One of the best films I've seen in quite a long time. I really love it a lot. But let me know what you guys thought of Raya and the Last Dragon down in the comments below. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys next time for whatever it is I'm doing. Alright, see ya.